Thanks, Jesse.
Great. Hi, everyone. Great to meet you. I'm Jessie Bauer. I am the Director of Customer Success here at OneQ. So, what my team does is we're here to help if you need to write questionnaires, if you just need help getting it on the platform, or if you have any questions or just, any troubleshooting. That's what my team does. I know we don't have a ton of time, so I'm just going to jump right into it. Just a quick overview of OneQ. We pride ourselves in providing smarter, faster, affordable research. Though I'm just going to go through a few points here. What sets us apart is our high quality proprietary panel. We have 1 million members and they are highly engaged because we pay them up to 25 cents per question that they answer. And we have no professional survey takers or bots. And as some of you know, when you tried to log into your account, we have high security. So some of you might have been frozen because you were signing in from the same IP address. And that's what happens. If we see a lot of activity from the same IP, we won't let you sign up or use the platform. But yeah, so we make sure that every member who answers questions is linked to an address and a phone number, and they have to be unique. And we verify this against a third party. And we also use a push model. So instead of having lists of surveys that bots can get into and respond to, it pops up on their phone according to our algorithm. So we pick the respondents who answer the questions. It's affordable and it's easy to calculate cost. It's a simple $1 per response. So if you have 200 respondents and you're sending one question, it's $200. If you're sending them two questions, it's $400. Real-time analytics, you'll see in a second that you will see the responses come in as soon as you hit launch and you can start analyzing right away. And what I'm really excited about is the geo-targeting capabilities. You can find anybody, any member anywhere in the country. You can get as specific as if you wanted to find a member who's 1,000 feet away from your home address, you could do that. And the ability to recontact respondents, which is a really great ability to have. If you go out to a couple hundred respondents and a month from now, you decide that you want to ask them a question again, you can go back to those same exact respondents and you can do that an unlimited amount of times. And finally, we're a DIY platform. So hopefully when I'm done, you'll all be power users and you won't need us, but you can also work with our team and we can help you program your surveys. And just really quickly, you can see here the different things that we can do on our platform. The big ones that come up that I see all the time are concept testing, name testing, ad testing. A big thing that we do every year with Frito-Lay is we help them test their Super Bowl ads. So they will test all of their ads from the beginning storyboards all the way through to the final commercial. They make big $10 million decisions on that, and they trust us to do that. And then something else that's been really big lately is the qualitative recruiting. I want to point that out just because I think we're probably the most affordable place you can do that. And it's really easy to quickly find very niche people. If you need 10 interviews, you can do that in 3 questions for $30. So it's very simple. So with that said, let me jump right into this. Okay, can everyone see my dashboard?
Yes.
Okay, great. So when you log into your account, this is what you'll see. It's the dashboard. You'll see that you can create a new AskVert from 3 different locations. And AskVert is just our fancy name for survey. So on the dashboard, you'll see we have 1 million members. You can scroll over all of the states, see how many people are in each state. Over here is the menu, the My AskVerts page. That's where all of your AskVerts will be stored. My account. If you click on that, you can just edit your account info. This allows you to add credits. You can transfer credits to anybody just using their email, and you can download the usage. So if you run a bunch of surveys, you can, if you run them over a year, you can download them all at once into an Excel sheet. And then credits is just a short way to get to the credit screen. And of course, there's how-tos, FAQs, and then just different question examples. So if you have any questions and you don't feel like reaching out to us, there's certainly a lot there that you can use. So I'm going to go to My AskVerts now, which is where the AskVerts are stored. And so we're going to start I want to show you how you can start creating an AskVert. So I have one set up already. So when you start setting an AskVert up, you can just go to the edit screen and it will open your questions. I just started writing a survey about the World Cup, since that's probably going to be a big topic in the next year. So when you first go into the AskVert, it will just open up the question screen and you'll see the drop down for the question type. So what we offer is single answer questions. So just multiple choice, single answer, multiple answer. So for those, you have a limit of 10 answer options plus and other or none of the above. So you have a limit of 11 items. We have open ends. So that's just an open end text box. An offer. So if you wanted to send a coupon or a code to someone, you could do that here. I like to use it for reminders because we do a lot of in-home testing, so it's good. It's basically a question type that doesn't have any answer choices, just says got it at the bottom. So if you just want to send a link or a reminder, that's a good option to use. We have standard ranking questions. So up to 11 items, you can have someone rank. You can force this so that they only rank 3, they only rank 5. You have that ability. Enhanced Net Promoter Score, that will calculate the Net Promoter Score. And so you'll be able to see the percentage of detractors and promoters if you're just by asking the likelihood to recommend. The next option is the photo response. This one is really great if you're doing in-store work. You can send somebody to Target, have them take a picture of the shelf. It kind of works as a camera, so they can't upload a photo, but you can have them take a photo within the app. And it's good, for if for products testing, if you have somebody purchasing an item in store, if you want to confirm the receipt, or if want to take. I know we're doing like home inventory studies, so if wanted to take a picture of where you store all your toilet paper, that type of thing. Scale questions. So this is just a slider scale. You can set the numbers at anything you want. So you can set a scale from 0 to 10. You can set it from 0 to 100, but this is just a numerical slider scale. And then grid questions. Our grid questions are single select. They allow 7 rows and 7 columns per question. So when you click on this, it will default to an agree, disagree scale. But you can obviously adjust that to anything that you would like that to be. And then finally, we have our image comparison question. And then this option allows you to use actual images as answer options. So looking a little bit more closely at this, just going through these buttons, the plus and minuses, that allows you to remove an answer option or add one. A link lets you add a link to any answer option. So if you wanted the respondent to see a link, you could say, do you want to see this link? Yes, no. Click yes, and you put a link in there. When they're done answering the survey, they'll be taken directly to that link. Pin, this will pin all your answer responses in place if you randomize, or pin any answer in place if you randomize. And then the arrows just move the options up and down. With any question type, you can include audio, video, or an image, as well as a link. And then with every question, you have the additional options drop down, which is where you would randomize. So you can randomize the answer order and anchor last if you have an other or none of the above. Hide question and media after answer. That's important if you have a concept and you don't want the respondents to be able to go back to it. You want to keep it confidential. This will hide this from their app so that they can't go back and look at it. And then this is where you would also add an other specify or an exclusive none of the above. So the other specify in the additional options drop down is where the only option where you can have a write in as an answer option if you're not using the open-end question type. So then up here, this is where you would add a question. You can remove a question, copy a question. So if you were to say, which of these brands have you heard of? And then the next question be, which of these same brands do you use most often? You could just instead of having to rewrite everything, just make a copy of the question. And then this is important here. This is the logic. So this will allow you to screen or to move or to send respondents to different questions. So when you click on this cog, it will open up drop downs underneath the question. So for example, I want to send everyone who's very interested or somewhat interested in the World Cup to the next question. So what I would do is send them to Q2. I would have those who are not interested end survey and those who are not at all interested end the survey. So that's pretty simple. And then the only other things that I think I still need to mention is you have the ability to, in multi-answer questions, you can limit it to a certain number of questions and a certain number of responses. So if you only want them to answer up to 3, you can limit answers to at least 1 and then no more than 3. And then when you're all finished, we don't have traditional test links. So the best way to test would be to go to preview this question, and that will open up the app view. We have app members and SMS members. So some members receive just text messages and others will receive like a ping in our app. If you want to test it by if you test the SMS, you can actually send that to your phone, type in your phone number, and that will send that to you. Or you can just test on the app here on the screen. If you just answer and submit your responses, it will take you right through the survey. So it says up to 3, and see if I try to submit more than 3, I get an error. So so that's the question setup screen. I don't know if you want me to stop for questions as we go through, or do you want me to wait to the end?
Caitlin has a question.
Okay, great.
With the audio function, what do your clients normally insert in that audio? Like, what would be a good example of a purpose to use that function? Survey?
I would say the best example would be like a radio ad. So so it's honestly, it's not something that we use that often. But so if you just had an audio file that you wanted them to listen to and react to. But most of the time people will use just the video or the image.
So, and just to clarify, with the 500 credits that each of the students have, they can either send 1 question to 500 people or 5 questions to 100 people.
Exactly. Correct. Yep.
But they could, if they're doing something that's a team project, they could share the credits among the team.
Yeah. So you can go to that credits screen and then just transfer credits to whatever email address you want to transfer it to. Okay. So is there another question?
No, we're good.
Okay. Okay. So another thing too, you can also add bulk answers. So if you didn't want to type in your answer options individually, you can just copy and paste them right here and that will just fill it in. So that's really, you can set up questions very quickly. So the next screen is, and by the way, I'm going to go next at the bottom of every screen, but you can access any screen in this menu over here at any time. Okay, so the next screen is our shared panel screen. And so this is if you want to go to, these are some commonly used audiences that we have. So if you're looking for an audience such as, dog owners, for example, you don't need to screen and you can just come here and just check the box. So we have that for different snacks, drinks, primary decision makers, club shoppers, and then custom panels. If there's an audience that you think that you're going to go out to several times, it's much more cost effective to create a panel in advance. So we could set that up for you. We could ask a question, send it out to 1,000 people and create a panel for you. So that's what a custom panel is, so that you don't have to rescreen every time that you ask the same audience a question. And so this is the demographics page. This is the important page where you pick your audience. You'll see here all the demographics that we offer. The phone type, iPhone, Android, and SMS. That's important if you have grid questions, image comparison, or photo response questions, because those can only go to app members. So if you're sending to app members, you're going to have to click iPhone and Android. But
Will the system flag that if you have like an image question and you do not unselect SMS, would the system flag that?
Yes. Yes. So on right before you launch, you'll get an error message letting you know that you have to fix that. And so you can you can select any audience you want. If you don't touch this at all, it will just default to Gen Pop 18 plus. But yeah, if you wanted to send to females only, you can check the box. We have race, relationship status, voter registration. So if you want just registered voters, you can click on that. Political affiliation, religion, education, employment status, home ownership status, and industry and job function, job level if you do any B2B work. And then you can use the sliders to, if you want to send to households with children, you can send it to those with children in the household. You can adjust the ages of the children. So if you only want to send to ages 3 to 12, you could do that. A household income, you can adjust the slider. And you'll see up top in orange up here, the people available. So you'll see as we adjust. So if I go to say, if I'm going to households with 1 plus children, 3 to 12, 75K plus, you'll see that I have 9,000 iPhone Android users that I can go out to. And the same for age. So you can adjust that as well. Good rule of thumb is just to make sure you have at least 5 times as many people that you need available. So if you were sending to 100 people, you'd want to make sure you have 500 people available. And then you can adjust for gender, race, and age. You can adjust the percentage that you want to send out to. So for age, there's these different age groupings if you want to adjust that. So is there any questions on that page?
No, we're good.
Okay. All right. So the next page is the fun page. This is the location page. So this is where you can target any location in the country. It will default to lives in. So if you can enter a zip code, city, state, country, we're mostly US, but we do have a small panel in Canada and the UK. So if it will default to the US if you don't touch it, but if you wanted to go to Canada, just simply type in Canada and you'll see that we have 19,000 people there. And then, so if you go to the drop down, you can find people who live in radius of any address, any city, any town. So for example, I live near Philadelphia. So if I wanted to find people who lived within 25-mile radius of Citizens Bank Park, I could do that. I have 13,000 people who live around the baseball stadium that I could go to. So yeah, you can type in any address. You can go within miles or feet. So if you were looking for people who just live in a very, very concentrated area or people who are in a certain store or something, you can adjust that as narrow as you need to. We also have congressional districts. So for example, if I just wanted the people in Alabama's 6th district, I could do that. There's 2,000 people there. And you can find people who live nearby a point of interest. So the point of interest would just be any type of retailer, grocery stores. We have banks in our system. So we have a whole list of different locations. We have the major big box stores, all the major grocery chains, major drug chains. So yeah, so if you wanted to find everybody who lives within 1 mile of Target, just apply that. Maybe you have 61,000 people. And we have a small percentage of our members allow us to track them wherever they are. So they have the location settings on, and that will, so with those, that's where we can do some in-store testing, which is something that's really popular on our platform. So for example, if we wanted to find everybody who's currently in a Walmart, just check that, hit the plus button. I cannot emphasize enough that you need to hit the plus button, because I would say that the biggest error I see people make is just thinking they need to check this box and then they don't apply this, and then it ends up just going out to the general populations. Make sure you hit the plus button, make sure that you see that people available adjusts. So right now there's 114 people currently in a Walmart that we can send a question to. So we could reach out to them and say, hey, we see you're at Walmart, go to the bedding section and take a picture of the shelf. So right now there's 114 people. Obviously, if this will keep on adding as you keep the survey open. Yeah, there's that. And you could also do respondents live currently in radius of. So same thing. You can type in any address, zip code, city, and then you can set the mileage. And you can also import locations. So if we don't have it in our points of interest, you can import it on your own. So all you need for that is the address, city, state, zip, and the latitude and longitude. And if you don't have the latitude, longitude, you can send the list to us and we can append that for you. And then lastly, other than respondents currently in a location, we can also go to respondents who were in a location. So if you just want to find people who've been in a Sam's Club within the past 30 days, you can do 1 time, 2 times, go up to 10 or more times. So if I want to find people who are in a Sam's Club 3 or more times in the past 30, I have 1,000 people. So yeah, and typically those who have the location settings on are much more responsive. So sometimes you can be a little bit flexible with that, needing 5 times as many people when you're using the location settings because they're very responsive.
And so one of the uses that I was thinking for this is for their corporate projects, if they want to do some qualitative research as to like recruiting for qualitative research, to say like, hey, would you like to participate, do like a little screener, and then we'll offer a $25 gift certificate to Amazon to a subgroup of people that qualify. Then are we allowed to request their contact information, or how does that work?
Yes, absolutely. So you would just screen the questions, and then once they said that they are interested in participating, you would just use an open-end question to collect all of their contact information. And so as long as they provide that to you, there's no issue with that.
Okay.
But that's something that we do very, very often. And if we also too, if you wanted us to incentivize them just using their PayPal account like we do for the regular questions, we can also work with you on that as well. So are there any questions on the location?
No. Oh, I didn't see but on zip codes, I would suspect you can select multiple zip codes.
Yep. So you can so you can just enter.
Just keep adding.
Yeah, so you can just keep adding. Okay, so the next screen is the follow-up screen. And this is where, as I mentioned before, you can go back and recontact anybody who you've asked a question to before. So this is where you would do that. And this is also where you would exclude responses. So let's say I ran another FIFA World Cup survey and I want to exclude all those respondents. I would just select that in the drop down, say exclude all respondents, and then we won't ask any of those people this question. You can also include all respondents. And so if you just want to go back to the 200 people who answered that question, you could do that. Or if you just wanted people who answered a certain way, you can just simply select, if I want the 70 people who said Adidas, just check that and you'll see 70 people to send out to. Or if you want people who didn't say Adidas, say, why didn't you pick Adidas? You can hit the X and that will give you the 20 people who saw the question and didn't pick Adidas.
So, and that's how you would do the follow up to the screener, go after the people that fit your screening criteria and then invite them for a qualitative. Is that the best way to do?
Yeah, so if you have more complicated screening, that's the best way to do it. Like if you're screening across questions, if you want people who say, these 2 answers in question 1 and these 2 answers in question 2, that's the best way to do it. If you don't have if you don't have any complicated screening, you can actually just do that in the question itself using the logic.
Okay. Yeah.
But this is really good, because we like to keep the surveys themselves simple for our members. So if you do have more complicated logic, you can kind of branch off from here and then, create follow-up ask birds. So that's what the follow-ups page is really good for. Okay, so the next page is really simple, how many page. So this is just how many respondents you want. So here I'm sending this to 300 people. So it's 4 questions. So it's going to calculate the cost for me, 1,200. So let's say I wanted to send a question. If I only wanted 100 people who qualify after Q1, it's still $1 per response. So you would still need to send it out to 300 people um, if you only want 100 people, depending on what the incidence rate is. If you know it's a 50% incidence, you would send it to 200 people. So if I wanted 100 people who qualify, I would set the question quota at question 2, because that's where I want it to start collecting 100 people. And then I would just set that quota. So it will stop at whichever quota it hits first. So if you end up needing more than 300 people to get to 100 people, then you can extend it in field. Or if you only needed 200, then it will stop when it gets to 100. And you'll see that the total cost didn't update because the system assumes that all 300 people are going to answer every question. So you'll need 1,200 credits to launch, but when the survey closes, you'll get refunded for everybody who didn't answer from Q2 onward. And then just down here, if you want to schedule your aspirts, say I wanted this to go out at midnight tonight for some reason, I could set that here. So you can just pick the date and time that you want to send it out. And if, let's say, you only wanted it in field for a day, you can set the end time as well. So is there any questions about that?
No.
Okay, great. And then lastly, we have the confirm screen. So this is where you would see that error message if you were sending something to SMS users that you can only send to app users. So you would get error messages for, if you left an answer option blank, you left the question blank. If you happen to have 2 of the same item in a question, it'll give you an error message for that. So anything that, will be a problem when you launch, you'll get an error message for. So it's kind of a foolproof way to look at everything before you launch the survey. You'll see every question that you have set up. You can preview the question again if you'd like. So it will show you all your follow-ups, your audience. This one's just going out to the Gen Pop. But if we did tailor it in the Who, it would say, females ages 25 to 34, or, whatever states you pick, or area you pick. So, so this will just show you all your info. And then once you've confirmed, you just check the box, hit confirm, and then hit send. And then we're off. So right now it's calculating, it's finding the respondents. But yeah, so you'll see they're starting to come in real time. So the pins are dropping all over the country. So obviously you're only seeing the people who are terminating the screening question right now, because those who are answering the rest of the questions are completing now. So yeah, now these are starting to come in. Yeah, so this is the results screen. So on the results screen, you have the ability to filter by any response. So if I wanted to see just anybody who's very interested in the World Cup, I would click that and it will show me just the responses for those who are very interested. And and you can download any of these charts. And so it works as like an or condition within a question and an and condition across questions. So if you wanted anybody who saw that Adidas and Nike were affiliated with the World Cup, you could click on those and that would be an or. And then if you wanted females, then it would be anybody who's female and picked Nike and Adidas. So so you can filter by any answer response and any demographic that we collect. And so if you scroll down, you'll see that, so these are all the demographics we're collecting. We have some AI insights that may or not be useful just based on the data that's coming in. And then at the bottom is where you can see demographics by questions. And then so if you wanted to download the data, you go up here to download results. You can share the results with this was create a link. We'll open an email that will allow you to share the link with anybody. Download spreadsheet. This is an Excel spreadsheet. So this is the respondent level data. So it will give you all of the answers for every respondent and as well as all their demographic info. And so it's a really, if you need like to create pivot tables or just do more advanced analysis, it's easy to download the Excel spreadsheet and like throw that into an SPSS or some other tool to be able to analyze the data. You can download the questionnaire, the PowerPoint. You can download a PowerPoint, which it's kind of rough, but it's a good starting point. It's kind of just these tables all in one, these charts in one PowerPoint file. But you can also download PowerPoints with filters as well. So if you just wanted all of the charts for the females who responded, you can download with just. So I know I went through that quickly. Any questions about this?
Questions? I think the platform is very intuitive and easy to use. I would suggest the students want to experiment with it. Do not launch a 500 people survey. Try with 10 first, see how it works, and do a soft launch first. But yes, it should be very, very straightforward and easy to use.
Yeah. So I think is there any? I know because we didn't have too much time, but yeah. So I'm sure there's something I didn't cover. So are there any questions about like anything else that anyone may have?
Any questions, guys? No, I think we're good.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. If you have any questions at all, you can reach out to me at my email address, jessieb@oneq.com. Or if you want to reach out to the professional service team, that's ps@oneq.com. So yeah, so if you signed up for an account already, you should have $500 in there. I'll go in and I'll just double check and make sure that everyone does. And I know some people were frozen, so I'll just double check too that anybody who's frozen is unfrozen. But yeah, absolutely. Please feel free to reach out to me with any questions that you have.
Lauren has a question.
Personal account instead of a business account, but then I changed the email address on the personal one and made a business account with like the UGA email. Is that fine?
Yeah, you still should be able to log in to an Ask account if you have a personal account. So I don't think that should be a problem. But yeah, certainly reach out if it is a problem, and then we can just, if it is a problem, I can just delete your account and you can start all over again. But I don't think it should be a problem.
Very cool. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. All right.
I think it's wisely, Michelle. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.